Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Middle-Aged Metalhead. Hi, this is Abhishek here, and of course, joined as always by Gautam from the Middle-Aged Metalhead. And yes, so you know what we've been doing over the past few weeks is we've been discussing, ruminating, thinking that how can we best waste our time and waste yours as well, help you procrastinate better, just the way we do. And the best way we decided was to make more productive use of our time is to come up with a new series of videos where we'll speak about the scene inside and outside the country, and obviously have a few thoughts of our own. And every week, try to give you something else that we've been discussing over the week, over various WhatsApp texts or in various groups or whatever. So essentially, make you a part of our conversations as well, and hoping that eventually, along the way, you guys will also go along. So, hi, GK, welcome, and always good to see you. Always good to speak with you. So, how have you been?
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, it's been a pretty hectic week at work.
Hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, I think we talk almost every day on our WhatsApp groups. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about hectic work day, work weeks, I had taken like a brief 1 week off, and it coincided my return to work with the rains. So it's been a bit of a pain to come to get it, for to make it to work and back again. Like I've spent like almost 6 to 7 hours just in traffic this entire week. So it's been,
Um,
yeah, it's been maddening because I have to go to work like 3 days a week. And so that's an average of 2 hours every day. But
yeah.
that gave me a lot of time, to go through a lot of music and obviously reflect upon one of the best gigs that happened last week. Obviously, 30th of August. We've spoken about this on the channel before. We've had a lot of our friends who were involved in that show. GK himself, who have played with Gin and Mr. Tonic. So, GK, not a review, but what did you make of the entire vibe that was there?
Oh, the vibe was fantastic, right? I mean, it was great to catch up with everyone. Initially, I think you were a little worried that ticket sales were really, really slow.
Hmm.
But finally, at the end of the day, I think everyone was happy with the turnout
Yeah.
and turned out quite good. And it was basically, I would say, everyone, or rather almost everyone that I thought would be there from the scene was there. It was all familiar faces, it was all friends. And so the vibe was really positive. I think overall it was a great gig.
Yeah, it was a very family atmosphere. It was almost like going out and meeting. It was like an extended dinner scene with a lot of known faces, as you mentioned. I remember. I think one of the first. This was the second gig, but I think Stygian always had like a fucking killer set, man.
Mhm.
Those guys should just start recording at this point. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Sharat and Shashank, they've been going over it, and I think they're writing new material as well. I told them also that I think they should just start, just because even they sounded like really immense as a three-piece this time.
Yeah, they were really solid. I think what we saw them first time in Soundlets
Yeah, sound
and
first gig with
first
Govind
gig.
on drums.
Yeah, that was they were a five piece then with Govind on drums, and did they have two guitarists in that gig?
They had two guitarists,
They
Sharat
had
and
two
I think
guitarists.
Sparsh
Yeah,
from Boom Culture. Yeah.
yeah, and they sounded quite good there. But this gig, they were miles ahead. They sounded great. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were really impressive and totally agree. I think they should quickly record a demo or record something anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully we can have them on the podcast to get along and get to
Yeah.
know and familiarize them with this, because there's been a struggle to get them to agree to do this. Next up, we obviously had Boom Culture, who brought the thunder, dude. I mean, like I was outside getting a drink, and then all of a sudden I hear Static X. Someone plays Static X, and me and Telal Zul, famously from Ant, we just rushed to the front of the stage, and we were joined by Anirudh from Kill the King as well, and it was fucking madness. Room culture is intense. I mean, people scoff at new metal, but these guys, they fucking bring it, man. This is the first time you watched them live as well, right?
No, second, I think.
Oh, okay.
But but yeah, I mean, Charan's a fantastic frontman, right? So much energy he's got, and he also has that total zero fucks given attitude, which is completely authentic. It's not made up, and you can see it in that band's entire stage presence and how they bring it. So yeah,
Yeah,
very entertaining set. Yeah, I'm not one for new metal at all, but yeah, Boom Culture.
yeah.
Uh, I'd watch them again. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I thought Bego was also great. Maybe the primitive songs. It's not a scratch on the people who actually like primitive. I mean, that's if that's what you want to do. But I thought their original material worked really, really well. And fucking Bipro, man, what a showman! Tremendous, absolutely
Absolutely, yeah,
magnificent.
yeah. I feel like his vocals have gotten better from
Yeah,
Albatross, or I don't know if it's just maturing with age or whatever it was. He was fantastic in Albatross, but with Bego, yeah, they sounded immense. And the songs on that EP are real growers, right? The
yeah,
more I listen to it, the more I like it. And yeah, Bipro is absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
yeah. I will not allow you to speak on this because next up we have Gin and Miskatonic, who, in my opinion, I'm not saying this because you're here. I thought these guys were the stars. I mean, the that set, man. I mean, it's there on video that how much I loved it because I did some sort of a trance dance. I don't know when, and I even conducted the band when Doombringer was played during Burn. I lost my mind. It was a tremendous vibe. I thought the stage being a little too small. I know it was uncomfortable for JP, who keeps saying insisting upon the fact that it was too small, which it was. But I feel that 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 music, the heaviness which you guys bring, and the fact that it was so close and very intimate, or almost as a setting, and the type of music that you guys play, I thought that was incredible. And I've seen you guys live multiple times. I thought the Soundless performance at the start of the year was pretty special, but this one was just blew the roof off, proverbially. I mean, it was insane. It was absolutely magnificent.
Just talk about the stage, okay? Yeah, it was really fucking tiny. If I had taken one step back, I would have kicked the bass drum. Okay, that's how fucking tiny that stage was. During the sound check, Japes actually sat down where the steps are leading up to the stage,
Mm,
right? And he sat down and he played through the entire sound check. And I think he was more comfortable that way because
mm,
standing up basically meant that he had even less place to maneuver. And
right.
usually, Shri and Mushaf are both like whirling dervishes on either side of me, and
Yeah.
they were pretty immobile as well.
Mm,
And all I could hear from the stage was Sid belting the kit behind me. Right, I
yeah.
had no clue what the rest of the band was playing because usually I just follow JP and Sid, and that's my cue for everything. And I
Mm.
could not hear JP at all, but all things considered, I think it went off quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember it's kind of hilarious on in hindsight, but the dude from Bego, his name escapes me. I think it was Saurav, who was standing on a stool
Yeah,
right
yeah.
beside the bar and playing because there was no space
There was no space,
for
yeah.
yeah, there was absolutely no space. And one of our friends was carrying a battle jacket, and he handed it to handed it to Bipro to wear. And Bipro was like, "What the fuck do I do with this? Where do I wear this?" And he somehow put it on. And I think that's when the primitive song was played. But yeah,
Yeah.
immense. And last act of that night was X Repeat X, who brought it. And I thought like a special mention should go out to Rakshit.
Yeah, yeah,
What a
absolutely.
fucking superstar!
Mm.
Absolutely
I don't know, like the line between genius and
madness.
lunacy, madness. Yeah. I mean, like, I think he crossed that line that day. Like it was ridiculous what he did. For those of you who weren't at the gig, he had a fractured leg and he ended up playing two sets. First with the opening band, Stygian Hallways, and then again with the X Repeat X, which was the last band of the day. And he was absolutely magnificent with both bands, right? So yeah, total MVP of the evening, but not something that I ever want to see him doing again. And but yeah, but X Repeat X was fantastic, man. I mean, Gino's like a absolutely how would you say it? Mad frontman. Like the amount of energy that he brings and the entire band as well. And Ani guesting on the song, that guy is one more pocket dynamo only. First time I
Yeah,
actually saw him live,
yeah,
and yeah, fantastic presence.
yeah. They covered Infest, I
Uh,
think, and Anirudh was just losing it on stage. At one point, I was right at the front, and he almost fell on me, or was about to fall on me, and I was like, "Bro, what the fuck? It's all right." And he just completely lost his shit because, and then after playing that, he came back down, and then he marched for another 10 minutes. So that was the scene. But yeah, you were absolutely right about Rakshit skirting that line between lunacy and genius, because usually he's tap dancing on it, but I think this night he took it a step, no pun intended, too far, because and it's grindcore. It's not even like fucking your dad's
yeah,
rock and roll. It's essentially blast beats constantly. And I had asked him, and he said like, dude, I'm just gonna use single pedal and I'm gonna just blast through it and we'll figure it out. So yeah, so that was what we did over the past week. Vehement Era, the Hangover, and obviously we can put a bow to it, and obviously look forward to having all of you guys, seeing you guys in the next gig whatsoever, whenever that is. Another news which has been doing the rounds, GK, and this is something that you and I are personally very interested in. At least I know you don't give a fuck, but I am very personally interested in. Is that the Cradle of Filth bullshit that's happening here? Are you aware of this, or should I
yeah, yeah.
just
No, no, I
sum it
think
up for the people who might be
yeah, yeah,
listening?
yeah, yeah. Sum it up, but I think
So
everyone into
essentially, yeah.
metal
So
should
essentially,
be.
the fuckery which is going on is that the sudden departure of two members, the keyboardist Zoe Mary Fedorov and the guitarist Marek Smurda, from their 2025 South American tour. They're essentially currently in South America, and this is mid tour. All of this bullshit is happening, and they have accused Danny Phil, someone with 41 previous band members who have quit, of financial exploitation, low pay, a toxic work environment, and unprofessional behavior. And Danny Filth has come back and said that, fuck these guys. These guys are the unprofessional ones. They are suffering through some marital issues. And they also said, like, they didn't believe in the collaboration with Ed Sheeran, which has not yet seen the light of day. And they have been every day. I have been posting almost every day. I've been posting a screenshot about the recent happenings and developments of this case, because I just find this fascinating. This is like the worst PR nightmare that a band can go through.
I mean, I don't know. Is it worse PR than their collaboration or their so-called collaboration with Ed Sheeran? I mean, what the fuck is that about? Like,
Yeah.
I was stunned. I mean, why do they even need to do that? Like, I don't get it. Are Ed Sheeran fans suddenly going to start buying Cradle of Filth merch after the collaboration? I
Yeah,
don't
I think so.
understand.
I 110% think so.
Uh-huh. I mean, Danny Filth must be hoping for that, but
Yeah.
is that going to happen? Like, can you imagine Ed Sheeran fans worldwide wearing Jesus is a cunt t-shirts and walking around?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck, madness. But as far as the whole band thing and the keyboardist and guitarist leaving, yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, I'm sure they knew what they were signing, right? I mean, it's not like maybe I'm not completely clued up into the whole thing, but it honestly sounded like a couple of very disgruntled employees
Hmm.
who left the company, because I guess that's what Cradle of Filth is now. It's like a sole proprietorship uh, organization or company, and two people
Yeah,
left and decided to air all their dirty laundry in public.
yeah. A less successful Megadeth, who have used AI to launch their announcement. By the way, they are coming up with the last album, so as to say.
Megadeth,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, we but then again, you can't spell Mustaine without AI, so it was there. But anyway, I have a conspiracy theory for this. This is Mustaine's last, what did they say? Last scheme to pull a one up on Metallica, because even Metallica is right there at the end,
Mhm.
you know, and his entire career has gone just comparing himself with them, regardless of how successful he is. So I think he wants to say, like, you know what? See, we are retiring first. We have done all of this. This is our last album, and we are going away first. And I think that is his thought process. But then again, Sensei Dave does what Sensei Dave does. It's madness. But are you excited about the new album?
No,
Oh wow,
I
thank
haven't
you.
been. I haven't been excited by a new Megadeth album in since Cryptic Writings, and that was also pretty mid when it came out. So
Do
yeah,
you think
I
it's mid
haven't.
now? Do you enjoy cryptic writings now?
I enjoy it. Yeah, I do. No, maybe not as much as Euthanasia,
Hmm.
but I still enjoy it. But that was pretty much the last album I think that like when it was due for release, right? It used to
Hmm.
be I was quite excited for it back then. But after that, yeah, I'm not invested in Megadeth at all. Like I listen to the album, every new album when it comes out, but nothing's really made an impression on me. Yeah.
I think the album which it's not Endgame, the album which has Sleepwalker. I thought that was a solid return to form album. But I think the only one band from that era, from Bay Area thrash era, I think, which has consistently, and I know people might disagree, I think you might disagree, is Testament. I think they are the ones who have been fairly consistent throughout. But then again, that's a very hugely personal bias that I have against for that band. I personally enjoy Gathering a lot. So even the new song, I think, kicks ass.
Yeah, the new
Something
song I was
AI.
very surprised by. I thought it sounded tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, again, I mean, I'm not that invested in Testament either, or any of their comeback albums for that matter. They're
Hmm.
fine, but not something that I go back and listen to. But the new
Hmm.
song sounded really good, yeah. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
looking forward to the album, especially after the disappointment that was the Dark Angel. Jesus Christ, that was fucking awful. And I
Dark
was
Angel has how long have Dark Angel been on the fringes and have not released good material
they've not
though?
released anything since Time Does Not Heal now, which was 91 or 92. So it's
Yeah,
been like uh, 30, almost 35 years, but
mm.
30 years plus anyway. But yeah, the first two singles were terrible. Today the album dropped, but they're on some weird label that doesn't want to put them up for streaming anywhere.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, yeah. So it's not
Wow.
on iTunes or Spotify. You have to go to the label website and download the digital album. And I don't know why they're making it so difficult for their own fans to get a taste of the album. But yeah, and that cover art was, God, it was
Yeah, even the
atrocious.
videos
Yeah.
usually I'm very ambivalent about because I don't give a shit
Mm,
about videos now. So usage of AI and all does not concern me much. But yeah, the
yeah.
cover art was horrific. So but if it's so difficult to get it, I didn't even know it was out.
Mm,
And I am usually someone who tries to be clued into all of this, but I didn't even know it was out. But I'm sure like the five people who are their fans will be very disappointed uh, about this. But speaking of albums, this week that I've heard, I wanted to recommend two albums to you, GK, and obviously, consequently, to our listeners as well. And these are two albums which I've spoken about with you and on our group chat also. And that is Void. It's a thrash metal band out of Louisiana. The album. This is the second album. It's called Forbidden Morals, and they are. I think this is released through some firm called SKR. I'm not sure. Shadow Kingdom Records. I've never heard of this, but yeah, the lineup is Jackson Davenport, who is the star of this entire operation. And I think, if I have to describe this, it's essentially horror themed, very vampiric, Nosferatu kind of a feel they have. Steeped blend of Bay Area thrash with classic traditional metal. So essentially, if you had, say, King Diamond sing for Annihilator, with a lot of progressive arrangements going for it. And like I said, it's the crux of this album is the vocalist. That guy is insane. Like, it's not even like when you if you take yourself back to the first time you heard Skid Row, Sebastian Bach doing some unnecessarily complex vocal stylings. It's that, but done in thrash. So it's you can triangulate it between, say, very early Paul Diano, early Hetfield, like I said, Merciful Fate, without it's and it makes it as original. And that guy's just 19 years old. And so essentially, if like I was telling on the group also, it's like thrash metal but played in a gothic castle.
Hmm.
And there are some incredible tracks there, like the title track Forbidden Morals. There's a song called Judas Cradle, and all of a sudden there is one ballad as well, where he oversins the fuck out of it. Yeah, like think in a darkened room, that end where he goes like wild with the vocals, where he sings along with the solo. It's that, but right from the get go. So it's just maddening. But the songwriting is okay. It's just the vocals which just take it over the edge. It's incredible, and I would highly recommend you check it out. It's called for Avoids Forbidden Morals. I will put the link in the description. You guys can check it out, and you can see the image somewhere on the top of your screen as well. The second
Yeah,
album,
I
which I wanted you to check out, I'm not sure whether you've had the chance to, is a band called Heavy Phrenic, and it's an album called Decathesis. It's black metal, and it's an Australian band, and they've released their album through Gutter Prince Cabal. I think this is their first album that they've come out with. Have you heard of this band?
no no. Hmm.
So essentially, it's think Gorguts, uh, that amount of technicality, but which meets mayhem, and they have like a bit of instrumentation and industrialism or industrial metal kind of feel, which is closer to Anal Nathra than it is to Nine Inch Nails. Essentially, it's very, very heavy. There is a lot of you have a feeling of descent into someone who is actually having a mental breakdown without it sounding like that pretentious. And there is a lot of mechanical intensity to this music. It will feature most likely on my year-end list also, because it is extremely well done. And that word I keep coming back to, it has a lot of conviction to this kind of very interesting black metal stylings that they have. Australia, in fact, I think is really one of the leading countries and underrated countries when it comes to extreme metal in general, I feel. And this is
Yeah.
one band which is doing a lot of great things. The next band I heard was something which I would want you to speak about, considering that you snagged a rare vinyl of this album, and it's Death Spell Omega's Fast.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Deathspell Omega just got the record yesterday, finally, after a long, long wait, or rather, after wanting it for a very long time. This was one of those bands that took me a long time to get into, right?
Mm.
Like their early stuff with what was his name? Shark Soul from Manza when he was still in it. That didn't really do anything for me at all. But I think it was when I first heard See Monumentum Circumspace, whatever that album was called, that
Mm.
this band really blew my mind. And then when Fast came out, it was really, really dense, and
Yeah.
I would say, in a lot of ways, comparable to my experience with Gorguts' Obscura, in the
Mm.
sense that it was almost impenetrable, the music, the first time I listened to it. And it was when I started listening to it, along with the lyrics, that things really started working for me. Because the lyrics are like ridiculously as dense as the music, I would say,
Yeah.
right? And overall, I mean, over the last few years, I think it's grown to be one of my favorite black metal albums of this century. Probably in my top 10 black metal albums of all time.
Mm.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. And I would say avant-garde without any of the cliches that avant-garde in metal usually has.
Yeah,
Like no exotic instrumentation and things like that, but the essence of the music is really avant-garde. I don't think um, orthodox black metal or melodic black metal fans would. It's not easy listening for even people within the black metal community, I would say. And yeah, something really special.
yeah. I think this album, when we say these very pretentious sounding sound bites, that black metal is transcendental, I
Hmm.
think this is the purest exploration of that phrase. It is not background music. It's not like, I'm not saying Immortal is background music, but you can still have Immortal play in the background as you do your household chores or whatever. This is abrasive, swirling, unsettling, corporeal, maddening album. And it's deeply, deeply philosophical. It's boundary testing, it's patience testing, and it's just frenzy. There are moments of silence, there are Gregorian chants, there is intense black metal which plays, there are acoustic passages, and among all of this, there is a little bit of method which will only come, like you rightly said, when you start reading the lyrics. And it is so dense, and they give no explanations, that people are still, after like years of this album coming up, people are still trying to figure out what these guys actually mean. It alternates between ferocity, like I said, and there's eeriness which is there. It's essentially high art. It's at the same plane as, say, somewhere like Dorheim's Scott's 666 International or something along those lines. It's very labyrinthine. I'm not a guitarist, but I know a few who have tried to interpret this album. It's I think it's a defining moment for, like you rightly mentioned, the post 2000s black metal. It's the most daring and the genre redefining works that I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is something else. Some of the lyrics feel very political as well. I don't
Hmm.
know. How do I say it? Like it's lyrics that you would expect to find on a Crass album sometimes, like an almost anarcho-punk
Right.
ideology. Wait, I'm trying to find.
Very confrontational, I feel, is what you're.
Confrontational for sure, but also I would say one second. Let me see if I can find exactly what I'm looking for. This is one of the problems of not preparing for these things.
That we shouldn't be
Yeah.
preparing for these
No,
things.
no,
I should
you
be.
do all the preparing, and I just kind of waltz in. But yeah, there are a couple of lines about hope which I can't remember now. But yeah, deeply confrontational, political, and yeah, just very impressive lyricism and equally impressive music.
Yeah, there are some very jazzy parts as well.
Mhm.
There's a song called, for example, in "Chore for the Lost," where there's that very jazz inflected intro, which just becomes unsettling as the time wears on. So, if you've not heard of this album, Death Spell Omega Fast, incredible. Just I can just have that art, and I'm trying to score that art as well. Obviously, a reprint, I can't afford a door, but if I can, I would love to have that up on my wall as well, because that makes for a great conversational piece also, because that's some incredible evocative art piece that is genuinely reflective of the music that it is, because it is the fall of an angel, right? That is the story. So incredible album. And the other one which I heard, and the last album which I want you to speak about, is an album which is very near and dear, a band which I recently started to appreciate more. I liked them, but not as much as I do now, and that's Anathema. And the album, or rather, it's an EP. It's called Pentecost 3. So that is another album which I was deeply, I heard like 4 or 5 times this week. Your thoughts on Pentecost?
Cool. My thoughts on Anathema, they're a band that I never really got into. Like of the Peaceful Three,
Really?
yeah, of the Peaceful Three, they're my least favorite. Like it's Paradise Lost, then it's My Dying Bride, and finally it's Anathema. And I think Eternity is one album that I like. Pentecost 3 is still, I would say, a pretty good example of early Death Doom. Maybe like you could say a precursor to Funeral Doom as well, with
Yeah.
some gothic elements to it. And I like it, but it's not something that I ever go back and listen to. So yeah, I mean,
Make of that what you will. Yeah, but you're right. Out of the Peaceful Three, Anathema is also my least favorite. But that's not because of anything else. I just feel like they became uh, very watered down by their second or the third album. As soon as Darren White left, I think
yeah.
that's when the watering down of Anathema began. I mean, my first album was I heard was Alternative Four, which I
Hmm.
absolutely hated. But about Pentecost, I think it's almost like you rightly mentioned, it's transitional, bridging their Death Doom origins with a more clean vocal driven direction that would come to define their latter day work. And I think out of all the EPs, aside from the Paradise Lost Fallen Idol EP, was it called? The
Hmm.
first EP. I think this is my favorite. I absolutely love this EP. I mean, all of it. It's a very funereal. It's almost something which you can hear at a funeral parlor. It's very deeply atmospheric. It is very immersive, and it out of the earlier till about Icon, Paradise Lost's Icon. I think this had the favorite guitar tone out of the Peaceful Three, at least for me. I
Okay.
love that guitar tone. It's very emotional, very raw, and the even the vocal delivery, like I mentioned, by Darren White, especially on songs like Memento Mori and all of that. It's fantastic, and yeah, it is the precursor to what became or Funeral Doom. Track highlights, obviously, I love Mine is Yours to Drown In. I love We the Gods. Memento Mori, like I've mentioned, and obviously Kingdom. It's 45 minutes. If you have the patience, please sit through it. It's not music you can play and in front of while you have a house party going on, but it's definitely music to definitely check out because it's hugely influential. And speaking of influential, one of the most influential bands, at least for your and I consumption in our lives, and obviously on the genre as well, Paradise Lost is coming up with their new album. Uh, 2 weeks to go. I'm counting the days. 19th of September is when the album drops. It's their 17th studio album, GK, through
Yeah.
Nuclear Blast, and it's the three tracks that have come out, it's a balance between their early Doom roots. They have that gothic grandeur going on, and refined heaviness, which is brought by obviously Greg and Nick and Sam and all of the other guys. Thoughts?
Oh yeah. Really looking forward to this one. Ascension, no? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Ascension.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. So far, the three songs have been promising, but I think the full impact of the album will come when you listen to the whole thing, start to finish. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite bands through
Yeah,
every era. I would say fantastic stuff, right from the beginning to their most recent album, right? Um, yeah, except maybe they had a slight lull in the middle there with
believe
Believe
in
in
nothing.
Nothing and maybe some parts of Symbol of Life which don't really hold up all that well. But otherwise, fantastic band. Absolutely love them and really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think this is the last album by Guido on drums as well. I think he's
Huh.
replaced by someone called Jeff Singer. I'm not really familiar with who he is, but the three
Okay.
singles that have come out, Silence Like the Graves was okay. Serpent on the Cross was great, but Tyrant Serenade, dude,
Hmm.
what a song! It's like old school Paradise Lost, which is something which they've gone back to in earnest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love them to growl more and rather have Gregor growl more, because I feel he is the secret weapon that they have, but for some reason he just doesn't do it for Paradise Lost. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
one album, and we'll definitely be reviewing it on this channel. It's one of the most anticipated albums of the year, at least for the both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Gregor growls in or does vocals in Strigoi.
Yeah,
Is
he
that
does
right? Yeah.
vocals for both Strigoi and Valentine.
And Valen Fire. Yeah. Yeah, he sounds really good. And Total Secret Weapon. I mean, I didn't even know he could do it till those projects came out, right? Why he doesn't
Yeah.
do it for Paradise Lost is a mystery. But then Nick Holmes is one of my all-time favorite vocalists, so I'm quite happy with anything Nick Holmes does. I mean, that dude is fantastic, and his voice has aged like fine wine for me. So overall, yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Yeah. So, in this conversation about Paradise Lost, and since that we are speaking about this last segment for this episode, how about and let's do this as a running thing for as long as we can, as long as it's sustainable. Let's see for how long we can create like these five, uh, a list of fives. Let's just say, and probably at the year end or something, I will compile on something on Spotify and put it out there for all of our listeners. Let's do this. Let's do our top five Paradise Lost albums. Uh,
Okay,
you go first, and let's do this. You go first, and I go, and then I go, and then you and me, because I know for
okay,
a fact that
sure.
there'll be a lot of cross pollination there.
Uh-huh. So number five, Fate Divides Us, Death Unites Us.
Okay.
Okay, this was a massive comeback to their doom metal sound. I would say after a lot of flirting with synth pop, synth rock, I would say even alt rock with the self-titled, and In Requiem was maybe a slight return to the roots, but then this album just blew my mind. Macintosh's classic guitar tone was back. Holmes was sounding absolutely fantastic. You had brilliant songs, and yeah, absolutely love this album.
Yeah, I think I'll not go by order, but I'll just try to riff off what you're saying. I think it's also one of my favorite. It's in my top five. Fate Divides Us, Death Unites from 2009, so released in September 2009. And I think, like you rightly mentioned, I think they came back to a little bit to life, so as to say, and in Requiem, a lot of that death doom was back. And this just drove it deeper. Even if you look at the cover album, the first album had a Gustave Doré painting, and this again, it was like a symbolic return to form, And you just look at the songs, man. I mean, As Horizons End, I Remain, Frailty, Cardinal Zero, and then you have the crushing title track. It is so emotive without being mopey or, like we say, doing the RR bit of it all. It is just such an incredibly emotive album, and yeah, I mean, it was also the last album which had Jeff Singer, in fact, before Adrian Elanson from At the Gates joined them on drums for a tour. Uh, I think this is where they came back full circle, and this is proof that they just weren't surviving in the malaise that was the 2000s. This was them looking forward, and what they did with
Yeah.
Obsidian and Medusa and all of that. Amazing fucking album. Okay. So okay, like I'm saying, I won't go by order. My next up would let me look at my list. I think let's talk about 1 Second from 1997. Is that an album on your list?
Yeah, yeah.
So 1 Second again is, I think this is Depeche Mode if they hung out with Metallica
Mhm.
at that time. Yeah, because this is the heaviest Depeche Mode album you can hear. It is the least metal, more gothic, more dark wave, and it was closest that they have come to something like I said, a Depeche Mode or Sisters of Mercy. Uh, I wasn't there when it released, but I can see going back at reviews from that time, it was like people felt betrayed and all of that as they do. But for me, it was like a reinvention of that sound. This is a band which has never stuck to one sound, at least in the initial days. You have the title track, 1 Second, Just Say Words, Disappear. Uh, Just Say Words became a club hit, yeah. You could you could go to clubs in England in 97, 98 and hear this. And this is where Nick Holmes also embraced a lot of clean singing. He used to do
Yeah.
a lot of clean singing earlier too in Draconian times. But I think this is where I think a lot of training helped, a lot of belting out those songs live helped. And this was also the first fully digital recording, uh, which was reflected in that sound, which polarized the fan base. Your thoughts on One Direction?
Yeah, I love it. It wasn't an instant love for me. I think I was firmly in the oh my god, they've sold out camp when it came out. But over the years, I've really loved it. I'll tell you, the weird part was that the first time I heard Host, I absolutely loved it. And that
Oh
was when
wow.
I went back to this one and heard this again and started appreciating it for what it is. But over the years, yeah, I've come to like 1 second a lot more than Host, and it's an album that I go back to a lot more than Host as well. So yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was in. I know it doesn't matter, but Metal Hammer. I came to know about this album through Metal Hammer only.
Hmm.
When I saw one of their lists which said like the top albums of '97, and when I was growing up, I used to read these old magazines and see like what were the best albums from this year, this year, this year. So that is when I discovered. And for me, at that time, I had only heard Draconian Times, and this was like, what the fuck happened to this band?
Hmm.
And strangely, I absolutely loved it because I love my Depeche Mode. I love Sisters of Mercy, Fields of Nephilim. I love those that sound. And this was like a perfect marriage of goth meets pop meets a little bit of metal that was still remaining, or they were hungover from those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be your next choice, JK?
Number four. Number four is actually going to be 1 second. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we've spoken about that enough. I'll
Hmm.
go straight to number three, which would be Lost Paradise.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely intense. I mean, I would say for me, one of my all-time favorite Death Doom albums, one of my all-time favorite extreme metal debuts. Equal parts, I would say, Celtic Frost mixed with some early Autopsy vibes,
Hmm.
but some Sabbath there as well. But
Hmm.
uh, overall, really intense, really dark, and really heavy album. So this is one that I keep going back to even now. I mean, PL is one of those bands that I very happy to listen to every day of my life, and I can put on any album at
Yeah.
any time, regardless of the mood or whatever. And so, but yeah, this album I'm very happy to listen to again at any time.
Yeah. Would you say that this era of Nick Holmes, Lost Paradise, Shades of God, inspired you vocally as well a little bit?
Yeah, that was actually hugely inspired. I don't know if it, yeah, it definitely inspired. Okay, like the first song I tried singing on my own was Ember's Fire.
Hmm.
Okay, Icon was an album that absolutely blew my mind. Folks had a hi-fi Sonodyne hi-fi system with, and we had a mic as well. So I would plug it in, play Icon, and record along to the music.
Right.
Okay, and I would be so disappointed that I would sound absolutely horrendous. I'd be like, why can't I do this? Oh my God, maybe I just can't do this. But yeah, Nick Holmes has been a huge, huge influence. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should move to Yorkshire. But yeah, Lost Paradise, incredible album. What I love here is these guys are usually very morose and very hopeless, for the lack of a better word. But here it's more bleak and uncompromising. You know, you see tracks like Rotting Misery, Breeding Fear is also here, I think.
Yeah.
It's just churning riffs, crawling tempos. The production is raw. It's fucking muddy. It's claustrophobic, which works, in fact, in its favor. You know, you can't record a happy album that sounds like this. I was working on a piece for myself because I have nothing better to do. And when I was listening to Lost Paradise, and usually when I'm writing about a band, I tend to listen to their music as you do. This is an album which sounds like a hangover. Yeah. It
Mm.
has that very oppressive feel. It's not the light and darkness, it's that middle ground of the shadows where this album actually exists. You know, it's like cold, wet, miserable. It's the very blueprint of Death Doom. And speaking about blueprints, here's another of my favorite albums, Gothic from 91. Because it was just 1 year later that this very influential band reinvented another genre, which was Gothic metal. Released in '91, created with inventing Gothic metal as a genre. Uh, Gothic was very unexpected. If you listen to their discography right from the beginning, you will not see it coming. It'll just hit
Yeah.
you because you'll have female vocals, you'll have haunting keyboards, you'll have those orchestral flourishes. Songs like Eternal, they blend that very crushing aspect with a lot of grandeur, which has come to define Greg McIntosh's guitar work, and that phrasing and shifting between less guttural to being more dramatic in Nick Holmes, the lead work becoming more mournful if it was possible. Stuff like Shattered, which Stygian always does an amazing cover of. Falling Forever, amazing. The artwork obviously is. Do you know the story behind the artwork? Let me just.
No. Mhm.
So essentially, it's a cropped, inverted photo of the band.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so they stuck with it, and I know this from the Decibel magazine's Hall of Fame
Huh.
collection that they have put out. So your thoughts on Gothic? Is it in your list?
Yeah, yeah. Number two,
Sure.
absolutely fantastic. An album, I think, genre defining and also way ahead of its time, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. I mean, the opening is what Dead Emotion, Shattered, Rapture, Eternal. It's just non-stop. I mean, this is another album that completely blew my mind. They are just getting into death metal when I came across Gothic, and it was familiar, but it was also so different.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff.
Yeah. What about you? What about your next album on your list?
Oh, number one is Icon.
No, it's on my
Absolutely,
list as
has
well.
to
Number
be.
two.
Aha. Icon is number two. Oh my God. Okay, but yeah, Ember's Fire, like I said, Christendom, man, holy shit, what a song.
Yeah.
And this was where Macintosh's guitar playing. Actually, not just Macintosh and Aaron Eady, right?
Aaron Eady.
Yeah, their guitar playing is absolutely fantastic on this. And Holmes's vocals, my God. I mean, this was like a doom metal vocal masterclass. I
Yeah.
think overall, maybe his skills as a vocalist with his cleans and his growls and just the way he developed, I think he became a lot more skillful. But in terms of pure power, for me, this album is unmatched. Yeah.
Hmm. I think this is where Holmes, from that deep growl, it became like that Hetfield-esque bark,
Yeah.
which made the band very sharp in its attack. It was also the final album with Matthew Archer
Hmm.
from the early years. And it's again, it's like you said, Ember's Fire. It's still their live opener. Songs like True Belief,
Hmm.
you know, it's just stopped. This is where they became like an icon, so as to say. And in fact, Greg McIntosh still says that this is the measuring stick for them. Every time they record, they see that whether each recording matches icon, and then they go forward. This is
Yeah.
doom metal reborn as anthems, something which was seen only back in the '70s. Songs like True Belief, etc., are emblematic of that. Christendom, again, with the female vocals, with all that orchestra, and the ending of the album, with that piano solo. I
Yeah.
think it's one of the most perfect album closers ever,
Hmm.
which brings me to my number one. And I'm surprised this is not on your list, or maybe it is. Maybe we can both speak on it together as we close this out. And it has to be Draconian Times, at least for me. Uh, I think while, forgive me the pun, that they were on the ascension with Icon, this was the coronation of Paradise Lost. I think this is also their most successful album, and often considered, you know, the as their masterpiece. I mean, at least by my estimation, because the sound here, it's rich, it's dramatic, and obviously tracks like Enchantment, Hallowed Land, Forever Failure, they are devastatingly beautiful tracks. Last time even charted in the UK, proving that this kind of music can pay the bills. So as to say, there was that bitter snarl, part sorrowful intent and lament, which defines Nick Holmes. I think this is his like the best Nick Holmes has sounded till Death Devices Love Unites Us. Oh, sorry, faith divides us, death unites us. The artwork also has this dark medieval piece, makes for a great T-shirt, which I have, and a direct influence on bands like Catatonia, Moonspell, Hymn, Ghost, sadly Porcupine Tree. Uh, yeah, it's an incredible album, an album which I still play in its entirety every time I get drunk. Uh, so a fantastic album. Do you have this on your list?
No.
Wow.
Okay. So, for me, this is Paradise Lost sellout album. It's kind of like Metallica's Black Album
Black
in a
album.
way, where they took everything that made them great, they refined it, they brought it to the mainstream.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it works. I mean, there are great songs here, but the stuff that came before, stuff that came after, I think uh, had a lot more to do with defining the band and its sound.
Hmm.
This album for me is where they were stuck in a holding pattern.
Okay.
And yeah, that was why, like, I can see all the arguments for why people love it.
Hmm.
It's just that, and yeah, just that it doesn't work that well for me. Like, every time I hear it, I always, about midway through the album, I either go back to Icon or I go to 1 second.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's where I am with this album. Yeah. And that's where I've always been with this album because I think I'm like literally the only person I know who doesn't like Draconian Times as much as everyone else.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah,
I think you're the only person I've met
yeah,
who has this opinion because, yeah, I like I said, it's accessible. It is the crystallization of their sound to what they were till then, and which is why I feel 1 second works so well because 1 second comes immediately after this. This is 95, 1 second is 97, and I think that burnout which comes with touring so much with such a hugely successful album, I think that bled in beautifully with why 1 second is such a great record to listen to on hindsight. And for me, Draconian Times, if I listen to Draconian Times once, I must listen to 1 second immediately,
immediately after, yeah.
immediately after, because it makes for like a great bookend.
Hmm.
But yeah, so these were our almost 10 recommendations, almost 10, but if not at least 7 out of the 17 that we of one of the greatest bands of our times, Paradise Lost. We are really looking forward to Ascension, and we will definitely be recording our thoughts and uh, feelings for it, and more talk about the scene, more talk about some of the stuff that we've been up to, more talk about the music that we have been listening to on the next edition of the Middle Age Metalhead. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here, for your support, and thank you, GK, for indulging me yet again.
Not at all. Cheers. Stay metal.
See you.